Picture this. You have just been diagnosed with a cancer of the lymphatic system, but also you are a guy who is curious about the world and your body, and also who should probably know what the lymphatic system does if you have a cancer of it. And so you go to Google and you type in lymphatic system. And what do you get? A bunch of words that you're not gonna read. Like, I'm freaking out. I've got cancer. I can't go to the Cleveland Clinic page and read a bunch of words, or the Better Health Channel, or Medical News Today, or the Canadian Cancer Society, or even Wikipedia. I could go to Wikipedia and I could be like, I guess I'll read about the lymphatic system, but that's not what I want to do. I'm too freaked out to read a bunch of words. This is very overwhelming. This is too many words. And so what do? I keep scrolling, and then there's a video, and I click on the video. And this is the weirdest thing that happened to me as a cancer patient. Imagine you have been diagnosed with lymph cancer. My lymph cells are now prioritizing their own survival at the expense of mine. They don't know that it's gonna kill me. They're just like, wow, we can grow so fast. And they're just going ham all in my lymphatic system. And it is going to kill me and them. And I can't really remember what the lymphatic system is. And so I go to youtube.com and I watch this man who I once was tell me all about the lymphatic system in a video from 8 years ago with 4.1 million views. And people would assume that I would know what I said, but I didn't. And so I watched this video, and at the end of the video, I understood my lymphatic system. Now, I admit I had a leg up. Like, once upon a time, I studied a lot of biology and biochemistry. Also, I said all of these words already once. I don't remember them, but there probably something of them is in there somewhere. But here is me, and I think that people mostly understand that when I'm doing Crash Course, I'm not just saying these words. I'm reading a teleprompter, and the stuff on the teleprompter was written by people who are not me. It was edited by people who are not me. There's an expert consultant that looks at every script who is not me and shouldn't be me. I'm not a doctor. I don't know about the lymphatic system. This script had a writer. It was Katie Yale. It says Kathleen, that's her writing name, but I know her as Katie Yale. We went to school together. A script editor, Blake DiPastino, who worked for Complexly for over 10 years. Then there's our consultant, Dr. Jackson, who works so hard. The way that he thinks about teaching, because of course he teaches in the classroom, is really student first. And it is such a gem when we get to find people like that who, in the world of academia, a lot of different things are prioritized, usually research over teaching. And some people, some professors, aren't like that. They think mostly about how to get information into students' heads, when we are always trying to find people like that at Crash Course. And Dr. Jackson's a great person like that. The editor, Nicole Sweeney, who now runs SciShow. The director is Nick Jenkins, who now runs Study Hall. The sound designer is Michael Aranda, who we were YouTubers coming up together. And of course, there's the entire Thought Cafe graphics team, who are many people and worked very hard to make these videos look so stinking cool, right? They're so good. It was such a positive experience for me to need Crash Course in a moment. I suddenly desperately needed Crash Course. I became the customer. I didn't ever think someday I'm gonna have to take a test where I have to understand lymph. No, it's like that thing that John Green says in the very first episode of Crash Course about the test.
The test will measure whether you are an informed, engaged, and productive citizen of the world, and it will take place in schools and bars and hospitals and dorm rooms and in places of worship. You will be tested on first dates, in job interviews, while watching football, and while scrolling through your Twitter feed. The test will judge your ability to think about things other than celebrity marriages, whether you'll be easily persuaded by empty political rhetoric, and whether you'll be able to place your life and your community in a broader context. The test will last your entire life, and it will be comprised of the millions of decisions that, when taken together, make your life yours. And everything will be on it.
That thing that John wrote for the first episode of Crash Course is the guiding principle of the project. The thing about everything being on the test is that you're not going to know everything. But you are, hopefully, in the process of your education, going to learn how to learn. And that's what Crash Course and higher ed, and ideally elementary and middle and high school, also are about. I didn't think the lymphatic system was ever going to be on my test again, but it was. And Crash Course was sitting there ready for me, and I was just helped by it. And that is, of course, the case constantly for many people, and usually because they're trying to get through nursing school or to get a good number on their AP test. But sometimes it's because you have cancer. And I hadn't thought of that use case for Crash Course until I was the use case. I don't know if you know about this, but Crash Course is not always easy to make. It's expensive to make educational content. You also have to balance a lot of different things of accuracy and usefulness along with trying to keep it entertaining and engaging. It's hard. The team that makes Crash Course is constantly grinding away trying to make it the best possible thing for students and teachers. The normal thing to do with a thing like Crash Course would be to build it up for a little while and then to put it behind a paywall and then make a bunch of money. And that is what we have decided to try and not do. So the thing that we do instead of that is we have Patreon and we have the Crash Course coin. And right now, and only for the next few days, you can participate and be a part of how Crash Course reaches people. We reach a lot of people on Crash Course, and I've done the math, and we spend about 5 cents for every person who we reach, which seems like a small number, and in a way it is. But I don't know if you know how content on the internet is monetized, but you do not make 5 cents per person who watches. So we are reliant on other ways of making money. But what that 5-cent number means is that for every $100 we spend, we can reach 2,000 people, which I think is a tremendous value. 2,000 people is a lot of people. And now I know not everybody has $100 lying around, and so that's the thing. But if you do, and if you do want to help and help make this thing exist, and I promise you it cannot exist without this, we can send you a beautiful little piece of art. The copper coin is $100, and it will allow us to reach 2,000 learners. That's the 2,000 learner coin. The bimetallic 10,000 learner coin is $500, and the $1,000 laser anodized titanium coin will allow us to reach 20,000 learners. That's a pretty big town of people. And I know not everybody can do this, but the whole reason this works is that people who can pay so that the people who are not able to don't have to. And if you'd like to give a different amount of money to Crash Course, our Patreon is of course linked in the description. And also we have a patron coin that goes out on your 3rd anniversary of being a patron. If you'd like to do it that way, you just have to wait a little bit longer, and you get that one just for the cost of shipping. I think the coins this year are especially beautiful. The team that worked to make them did an amazing job. But more than that, the team that makes Crash Course did an amazing job. There's a lot more that we want to do. We are always constrained by our budget, and so every person who can buy one of these coins is helping make a great thing exist. And I know that as a person who has been both behind the scenes helping make the content and sitting in front of my computer being helped by it.